No Boundaries International is a faith-based nonprofit organization that connects those who want help with those who need help the most, such as those who are trafficked, homeless, marginalized, at risk, and those struggling with trauma. NBI does that in 3 ways: through restoration, training, and outreach. And it all started back in 2006.
In 2005, Dr. Lori Basie and myself worked for another missions organization, and Dr. Basie actually had a near-death experience. It just radically changed the trajectory on her life.
I had contracted malaria while we were over in West Africa. I was literally dying. And interestingly enough, when I was finally discharged about 8 or 9 days later from the hospital, I would wake up in the middle of the night and hear these words, no boundaries, no boundaries. And I started to just have this question inside of me is, what if? What if we could take what we've been given to be an expert in trauma and healing through traumatic events, and Jesus would work in us and then through us so that we could actually help the most devastated in the world.
We decided to incorporate as a nonprofit, as a missions organization, where we would go not only internationally, but we'd be able to help people here in the Oklahoma City area with homelessness or human trafficking or addiction issues or just poverty. It sounds a little crazy sometimes to think that there's poverty issues right here in our backyard in America, but it really motivated us to be able to help people on a much deeper level.
No boundaries. Well, no boundaries.
No boundaries.
No Boundaries International, a nonprofit group working to stop the sexual exploitation of young women.
Our goal is really 3 things. We do restoration, we do training, and we do outreach. As we go into whether it be an earthquake or we go out on the streets with human trafficking victims or we go into the homeless camps, we've seen 2 common denominators: lack of trust and trauma. And so what we're doing, our heart is to bend the curve and actually train those who go out in a restorative discipleship model so that they can actually walk out of the horror and they can learn new skills and then they could have productive lives.
Everything we do is about relationship. And so we go out into the community with sack lunches, with bottles of water, or maybe a purse with hygiene, seeing them and knowing their name. And it just takes visiting with them. In addition to all the outreaches that we do, we have a lot of what we call in-reaches. One of those is a Sunday Fun Day where we invite our friends in for a hot meal and to play games. It's a fabulous night. And then on Tuesdays, we do a Discovery Bible Study where, again, we have our friends in the building and we provide them a hot meal. We take communion. We've had baptisms come out of this.
This is where a lot of the really beautiful things start to happen. We really depend on transformational relationships happening.
For 3 years, I've developed friendships, and I know some people's children's names, their grandma or their mom's name, or what they like to do or what they used to do. I mean, it's more than just handing out food. You're actually getting to have community with these people, and you're treating them like human beings because that's what they are. And then we also do special ops where we take street outreach, which is where we minister to the women, and homeless outreach, where we minister to our friends who are experiencing homelessness, where we take it to the next level, where we can start to interact with them, whether it's with discipleship or taking them to doctor appointments, taking women to court, getting their IDs, any of those type of things. That's the thing we do on Mondays and Thursdays with special ops.
If I hadn't encountered No Boundaries, if I had never met y'all, I would be dead. Life was pretty desperate for me. I was addicted to drugs more than 30 years. And had been to prison. I was actually standing out by the store and a car pulled up and a bunch of ladies jumped out and asked me could they pray for me. Pretty sure I told them no in a not very nice way. They didn't never give up on me. They would show up every once in a while and give me a purse and pray for me, and they became my friends. Things got really bad. Finally, it just was enough. I finally had enough. Whenever I was ready, I came, and I was baptized in a horse trough right here. Arrangements began to be made. I did 18 months of intensive trauma-based therapy. Today, I have a really good job. I work for a large corporation here in Oklahoma City, and also I have my family back. My beautiful sister's here today. My kids are in my life. I babysit my grandkids. I never even was allowed to take my grandkids with me, and now I can't get them to not go with me. So, My life's pretty awesome. I'm really happy.
It's been very satisfying and such a fulfilling thing for me to realize that I get to be a tiny little help in people's lives.
It could be a salvation, as big as a salvation, or it could be just seeing someone get their ID for the first time. And that's not just our friends, that's people that volunteers that we take out. You get to observe someone experiencing Jesus for the first time. There's really nothing like it.
So I know that you've seen the horrible things that are happening. And that shouldn't drive us to despair, but that should actually drive us to action. Now, our team, we're out on the ground. We're at ground zero. We're right in the middle of the $20 street. We've established incident commands in different places, and we want to be as efficient as possible, stewarding resources to the best of our ability and reach as many people as possible. So in order for us to do that, we have to connect those who can with those who need the help the most. And we have to train people and make sure that they understand the trauma process as they get involved and as they volunteer. We can teach others about the best practices and policies and procedures and the things that we've learned to reach out to people that are in need in our nation, in our city, in our state, and then even beyond. And so we want to just invite you to donate, to volunteer, and we want to invite you to be just that person that will make a difference in the lives of somebody desperately in need.